Paul V for ufgyms.com, Resyndex.ca, and Nutribolics. I was having a discussion with my co-op student Connor. He's the guy holding the camera right now. And I was trying to explain to him, he's an endurance athlete. I wasn't maybe specifically picking on him, but I was trying to explain to him how it's very typical for high school age endurance athletes to be afraid to do strength training exercises or train in the gym, because they're afraid they're going to end up looking like me, and I'm obviously not a really great endurance athlete. But what I was reminding him was that I worked really hard with the intention of looking like this for 10 plus years. So what in the fuck makes him think that if he starts picking up the barbells and doing some squats, that he's all of a sudden going to look like this and not going to be able to run fast? And we were expanding on the whole thing, and what I'm going to get into now is explaining kind of like looking at the overall, the overall weekly recipe, or maybe the 3-month recipe for an endurance athlete in the off season, as I see fit in my personal opinion. So come on in tight, Connor, so we can see this. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Basically, what I think that you should be doing in the dead of your off season. So the high school cross country season here in our area just finished. There's a pretty good gap until the cross country skiing season starts, and an even longer gap until track and field starts in the spring. So what should you be doing? First and foremost, we're going to look at the weekly, but we're also going to look at the bigger picture, what we call maybe a macro cycle. Weeks 1 to 4, 5 to 8, and 9 to 12 weeks. And what you should be doing, let's just hypothetically say we had about 12 to 14 weeks before we had to start our in-season preparation. Weeks 1 to 4 should be some recovery, mobility, and some general physical preparedness. And that's kind of a broad statement, and that could be applicable to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. But basically, working on rehabbing any injuries or imbalances, working on improving your mobility. That one will probably stay all the way across. And then just maybe working on, and for an endurance athlete, that might be completely different as what it might be to, say, a strength athlete or a football player. But things like, doing some sets of 10 with, squats and sets of 10 push-ups and things like that, and just building up a little bit of base level strength, because I feel that most of the high school guys and girls that do endurance sports have very, very low strength endurance. Okay. Weeks 5 to 8, we'd probably be looking at some hypertrophy. That means muscle growth. Now I know you all fear this, like you fear a really slow race time. But like I said, you're not going to pick up a barbell and look like me, or a strength athlete for that matter. You're not going to turn into a football linebacker in a few weeks. So some hypertrophy to put some muscle, okay, to give you a bigger engine to move you faster. And strength would be secondary. Did I spell that right? I didn't. Excuse me. Strength and power. Probably those would be in reverse order of each other. But hypertrophy first, strength and power would be secondary. Mobility would still be in there. Weeks 9 to 12, we probably would put power at a premium, strength secondarily. Hypertrophy would probably fall a little bit lower, and mobility would stay in there somewhere as well. Okay? And that would be kind of like your main off season, and how we would approach your dry land, or your non-running, your non-endurance training, your strength and conditioning in the gym. Now, how would you break that down? Just a quick snapshot of how to break that down in a weekly. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Monday, we would probably do a gym lift, addressing whatever qualities we're looking to address at that time. A mobility session would probably bookend that, and perhaps no run, no endurance. Tuesday, run, mobility. Really struggling with my whiteboard today. Wednesday, gym, mobility. Thursday, rest. R-E-S-T, rest. Okay, mobility. Friday, gym, mobility. And then perhaps Saturday or Sunday, you could pick and choose, and you'd have another big endurance day. So, you know, somewhere in there you'd have a run and some mows. Okay? And something that Connor and I discussed previously before we turned the camera on was everybody's afraid to, oh, I run 7 times a week, and you know, this is where I'm at. You're not, in the middle of the off season, if you stop running 7 times a week and run 2 or 3 times a week, you'll maintain enough that it's not going to matter, okay? And also, and that's given that you're already somewhat of an established endurance athlete. Dropping it down, reduce your volume of running, and work on the things that you're weak at. Bring up your weak points, bring up your strength, bring up your mobility, and when it goes time to switch back on to running more, it's not going to matter because you're going to bring that up. You're already good at doing that. You know how to bring up your running in. You've got a bigger strength base and you move better as a human being. It's going to be that much easier and you're going to be that much faster as you ramp up your running training going into season prep. All right, I'm out.